Every day seems to bring a new shocking headline about our education system. It's small wonder that more and more responsible parents are trying to give their children an edge by helping them to learn at home. Learning videos are the latest weapon in a caring parent's armory of teaching aids, and Wonderland has the widest range of learning videos in the UK. Modern children can learn a variety of skills on Wonderland videos. There are 6 tapes in the Ladybird Read With Me Learning to Read series. By the time children have finished with the videos, they should know all the key words that make up 80% of an adult's everyday reading. And now there are 2 Ladybird activity tapes that complement the reading course. These provide fun and games and more gentle learning, some light relief after working on the more intensive reading videos. By the time today's children grow up, there will be few skills as important as speaking a foreign language. So Wonderland has created Cheeky Moustache the Cat to introduce the French language and culture to youngsters. Bonjour les amis 1 is for 4 to 6-year-olds, and Bonjour les amis 2 for 6 to 9-year-olds. Videos that teach reading and French are very important. They provide today's head start for tomorrow's high flyers. But children need more than just academic skills. With Wonderland videos, they can discover more about animals and wildlife with the inimitable Johnny Morris. Johnny uses his unique blend of humour and charm to bring the animal kingdom alive in 2 videos, At the Zoo and Jungle Chums. Let's Draw provides step-by-step guides to creating pictures, and it gives simple hints on technique that make all the difference to the final product. Slightly older children will love Let's Play Chess. It's written by one of Britain's leading junior chess coaches, and will both teach the whole game to a complete beginner and give invaluable hints and guidance to more experienced juniors. Learning videos open up new horizons for children and parents alike. Wonderland's range will continue to grow, so watch out for new releases, including tapes that deal with writing, spelling, simple arithmetic, multiplication tables, music, magic, and sports. Wonderland is children's entertainment parents can trust. Video has proved to be a highly effective learning medium. But learning videos are not like ordinary cartoon tapes, any more than good books are like comics. For the first few times your children watch this video, sit with them. Encourage them and motivate them to participate. Talk to them about what's happening on the screen. Praise them when they get things right. Don't expect them to watch the whole program from beginning to end. Break up viewings into 5 or 10-minute segments. You'll find that the video is designed to make those sort of breaks natural. After a while, you'll find that your children will want to watch the tape by themselves and will use the fast forward and pause buttons to find the bits they like and to go over again the bits they find hard. If they don't already know how to control the player, it's a good idea to show them. By following these simple guidelines, you should find that Wonderland videos will be your most effective teaching aid.
It's always very exciting in the morning, isn't it, when the old postman rattles the knocker and ding-dongs the bell. Well, it might be something for you. It could be a picture postcard from a friend on holiday saying, "Wish you were here." But the trouble with postcards, there's not much room to write, is there? Now, with a letter you can ramble on and on saying what you had for tea, what you saw on the telly, and reminding people that you were going to have a birthday next week. I often wonder what animals would say if they could write letters to one another. I wonder if there could ever be a sort of a Jungle Chums pen pal club. Imagine an animal living in the South Pole, a penguin, and he writes a letter to a penguin in a zoo here. He calls his pen pal Auntie Gert, and she answers him back and replies. I wonder what she'd say.
My dear Sydney, it was really very nice to hear from you the other day describing your life down at the South Pole. Your letter is so full of questions, dear, that I really don't know where to begin. I do understand that where you are, you cannot know very much about what is going on in other parts of the world. Well, here, my dear, as with you, there are a lot of funny-looking people about. Some look as though they've never had a haircut in their lives. Others just gawp about and do not seem to know what time of the day it is. Yeah, but what about no, 5 to 9. You, Sydney, being one of the King family, know exactly what I mean. We are a well-behaved family and are always on time for our meals. Generally, though, they are a very decent crowd, and as you know, we like to live in large communities. There is more than enough room here, so we're not always on top of one another all day long. The food here is very good, and there's more than enough for each and every one. Although the way some behave, you would think that there was only one herring left in the whole wide world. Oh, really? The weather here is nowhere near as cold as it is with you, and I know it will astound you when I say that so far this year we've not seen one solitary flake of snow. Oh, I know, and I keep looking for a snowflake or two, but so far, no luck at all. Have you had any snow this year? Hope this finds you as it leaves me, your affectionate Aunt Gert.
Dear Aunt Gert, you really must be joking. I mean, you should see the place. Snow, feet deep, ice, yards thick. Typical weather for the time of year. Of course, there's not a lot to do here when we're not fishing, and as you can imagine, fishing is the main topic of conversation. Nobody can make up their minds whether to go fishing or stop home. Saying to the fellas the other day, you know, we've got to make up our minds. I mean to say, the weather's not bad at the moment, but who knows, it may take a turn for the worse. And then, where will we be? I mean, all very well saying got to take the rough with the smooth. Well, yeah, look at the clouds over there. Clouds over there. I mean, I know the weather's not exactly smooth, but then, don't you know, it's not exactly rough either. You know what I think? Half of them are windy. Yes, windy to put to sea. I mean, when you come to think of it, there's all these young mouths to feed. Oh, yes. And these youngsters, you know, they don't half mop it up, you know. I say to the chaps, look here, I say, you know, the fish is not brought to you in buckets like it is in some parts where you live, Aunt Gert. No good beating about the bush. Got to face the facts. In an outpost like this, you're out on your own, by Jove. There's all the fish in the world out there, just for the taking, don't you know? All there, just for the taking. Still, it's no good going on one's own. We've all got to go together. That's the only way to deal with a shoal of fish, yes. Still, I suppose we'll all agree sometime or another. Well, the sun's shining at the moment, but down here, Aunt Gert, it can blow up real dirty before you can say killer whale. And you don't want to say killer whale if you can help it. You've got to laugh, haven't you? You certainly got to laugh down here. Yeah. Although, by and large, we do pretty well. It's a good, healthy life, as long as you look after number one, which we all seem to do. Look after number one. Bye-bye for the present, Aunt Gert. Look after yourself. Your affectionate nephew, Sydney.
Dear Wilbur, it do seem to be a terrible long time since I heard from you. I suppose you're still in America, making your fortune. Things here in the old country are much about the same, and as they say, I gets a bit older every year. Glad to say, although I'm getting on a bit, I keep pretty fit. And I'm glad to say that all the family keep very well too. 'Cause as you know, bringing up a family is no picnic. That's why I could never understand that silly daft song, The Teddy Bear's Picnic. If you goes down in the woods today, you're sure of a big surprise. Those there little old human beings certainly get some pretty daft ideas, don't they? I tell you what, some of them will get a very big surprise if they got in along with us lot. They just don't realise how bad-tempered we can get. Not all the time, oh bless you, no, not all the time. In my young days, I never had a care in the world. But nowadays, I don't know, the slightest thing seems to properly wind me up. That's the trouble here. Life is so easy and comfortable, there don't seem to be all that much to get wound up about. Still, as I always say, Wilbur, we can't help looking the way we do, can we? I mean, we look so comfortable and cozy and proper cuddly. It's just a bit misleading. I mean, I'd like to see some of them try and take you and me to bed, eh? But there, you've only got to look at the kids playing about to see why they little old human beings think that we're so lovable. But there we are. If we weren't as tough as we are, where would we be? I ask you, where would we be? And where are you now, Wilbur? Where are you? Do drop me a line and let me know. Bungo, Bill.
Well, hi there, Bill. Sure was great to hear from you. I often think about you and the boys. Right now, we're all on a bit of a fishing trip, and the kids are getting real good at weighing a few salmon here and there. Of course, like everything else, I have to tell them you've got to learn to do it the proper way. Although, I've got to agree, the way we do it is just a bit hit and miss, but what you lose on the peanuts, you get back on the bananas. Of course, there are a lot of salmon in this river this time of the year, and all you got to do is amble about and whack one. Makes me smile when you see fishermen standing about with fishing rods all day. Me, I like a bit of action. You make enough noise and splash about, and those pesky salmon just don't know which way to go. Guess it just don't matter where they go, 'cause you can bet your bottom dollar that one salmon and yours truly will meet up somewheres pretty soon. The two kids, Artie and Shane, are getting on real good, and I just leave them to it. Me, well, as I say, there's nothing like a good fishing trip to keep you in good trim. Of course, you don't expect to whack a fish every 2 minutes. You just got to keep on chasing them. And in the end, those salmon are going to get so confused. Well, they just don't know what to do. Glad to say that before I started to write this letter to you, I nabbed one. Took a little time. Yes, took quite a little time. Yeah, but in the end, yeah, I got him. So long, Bill. Wilbur. Dear Tusker, just a line to inquire as to how you're getting on in Africa, as I know that things are not as they should be regarding we elephants. It is comforting to know that the Jungle Chums Pen Pal Association put us in touch with one another, as it does allow we Asian elephants to keep in touch with our African cousins. As you know, in Asia we are taught to do jobs of work that human beings couldn't possibly do. And here, just for fun I suppose, they ask us to roll this dead tree trunk about. Well, of course it's absolutely child's play to we three, but we enjoy it, and the people with whom we are lodged seem to think that it's good fun too. I'm writing this in the early morning, and what they call the general public haven't come in yet. The general public, Tusker, are a real scream. There are some, of course, who call us rude names like rubber conch and flap ears and puddin' foot. But we take it all in good fun, and we try to be as friendly as possible. And when the general public get friendly, Tusker, that's when we get up to our little tricks. Nothing too awful, you know, but we are inclined to nick things. Yes, well, last week we nicked 4 cameras, quite good ones, I believe, and I accidentally smashed one to smithereens when I swung it against one of those iron posts. Apart from the cameras, we got 7 handbags, 3 nice scarves, 1 silk, an umbrella, and 2 trilby hats. Well, you've got to laugh, haven't you? We all laugh, and the general public laugh, except the ones who get things nicked off them. Oh, they get them back all right, although some things do get trodden on and so on. Let's know how you are. Regards, Hooter.
Dear Hooter, thanks awfully for your amusing letter. Can only say, dear Hooter, that things in this part of Africa are not too bad. The weather is fine and jolly hot. But thank goodness there's a good deal of water knocking about, and so we spend quite a bit of time around here so that we can cool off. You know, people often say that in colour, elephants are dark grey. Well, that's true enough in a way, dear Hooter. But elephants are really the colour of the dirt and dust that we chuck all over ourselves. You see the dear old herd here, nearly white, Hooter, nearly white, which is the colour of the dirt and the dust all around. Looks like a herd of ghost elephants, doesn't it? Yes, ghost elephants. But see what happens when we slosh the water about. There we go. There. You see, would you like pale grey or dark grey? Take your pick. You mention in your letter, Hooter, Asian elephants and African elephants. You Asians have got nice little dainty ears compared to our great rhubarb leaf floppers. At the moment I'm 2 colours. I've only been in the water up to my knees, so I'm half dark and half pale. And now the whole herd is dusting down. Goodness me, you can hardly see your trunk in front of you. Gotta be careful not to throw dust in your eyes. Oh, very careful. Oh, dear, oh, I bet that stung. Oh, rub it better. Yes. And so, dear Hooter, when you ask me how we're getting on, all I can say is, not so dusty, not so dusty. With best respects, sincerely yours, Tusker.
Dear Elmer, it really was ever so nice to hear from you. I know that you and the kids are getting on very well. You did say in your letter that you were a bit worried about me living in captivity. Well, that's what some people call it, Elmer, but if you ask me, this captivity lark sometimes is a piece of cake. Yeah, know what I mean? Right. Well, they puts me on this lead, right? And takes me for a walk, right? But between you and me, I takes them for a walk. Know what I mean? Right. Well, see, they thinks I'm a bit of a giggle, right? Still, I thinks that I do's more giggling than they do. See what I mean? But I don't have to tell you nothing about human beings, do I, Elmer? Right? The thing is, to make them think that you're doing just what they want you to do. See what I mean? Right. Well, you knows as well as I do, Elmer, that we always pleases our blinking selves, don't we? Right? Know what I mean? With human beings, you just gotta play along with them. Know what I mean? Right. And if you play along with human beings, Elmer, in the end, you'll get things your way. Know what I mean? Right. Tell you what though, Elmer, the grub here is real good. Right. I mean, it's the variety. Know what I mean? I mean, the things that people chuck out. Well, it makes you sick, right? Well, I was sick the other night. Know what I mean? I had chucked out chips, chucked out cod, and some chucked out apple tart. Know what I done? I sort of mashed them all up together. See what I mean? It wasn't half bad, I can tell you. Trouble was, I overdone it. See what I mean? Yeah. Well, I went back, didn't I? Yeah. I went back and I got hold of some of that chili con carnage. Know what I mean? Dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And there was some ice cream and some celery. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I got a bit carried away. Know what I mean? And then, do you know what I found? Well, I found some chucked out sardines. Yeah. Fancy chucked out sardines. You know what I mean? Of course, you know how to do. Yeah. Well, like all of us do. Yeah. What do I do with it? Well, I'll tell you what. You know perfectly well what I done. There's a drop of water down at the bottom of the garden, and I got these sardines, see? And so I just washed them down there. Well, I had to wash the flipping oil off them, see? Right? And I thought, well, you'll suffer for this one, my boy, if you're going to eat that. But I was all right, yeah. In the morning, they come to take me walkies again. Yeah. Oh, I was all right. You know what I mean? I tell you what, Elmer. It's a piece of cake here. Hope things are the same for you in Canada or America. I can't tell one from the other. Know what I mean? Right. Well, just all for a bit more of a giggle. See what I mean? Right. So long, Bert.
Dear Bert, your letter made us smile quite a bit. You don't seem to have a care in the world. But then, we raccoons always play things by ear, don't we? Needless to say, I have to be a little more on the lookout than you on account of Mavis and the kids. They're doing pretty good, I must say, but they do take a bit of looking after. As they get bigger, I have to get more and more things for all of us to eat. And of course, the time to do that, as you very well know, Bert, is at night. During the day, we keep ourselves nicely groomed. Well, it keeps us clean, and it keeps us together, which is very important. After grooming, I lie up in a tree someplace so that I can keep my eye on things. But as I say, nighttime is hunting time, and daytime is sleeping time. Fortunately, there's a good deal of water here,
which is a problem for some animals, but not for us raccoons. Food here is very plentiful. Lots of fruits, insects, fish, and those itsy-bitsy little rodents. We don't bask in the luxury of your chucked-out cotton chips, but we do get more than enough half-eaten hamburgers. But you can have more than enough of them, Bert, I can tell you. It's nice to know that you, Bert, thousands of miles away, think just the same as we do here. You say, play it by ear, Bert. Play it by ear. Why, how right you are. Over here we call it adapting. Yeah. We are lucky in being able to adapt, Bert. Yeah, adapt. When things change, why, we change with them. The only way we haven't changed, Bert, is the way we look. Just like burglars, some say. Just like burglars. Yours, Elmer.
Dear Mbongo, tar very much for your letter. I must say, the life you lead out there in those old forests doesn't sound too bad at all. I was talking to the others about it only the other day, and I mentioned what a lovely life you had out there, but they pointed out that things for you out there was not as rosy as they seemed. 'Cause most of us here was born in the zoo, and so we don't know any different. You hardly see any human beings, but we here see 'em all day long. Too many of 'em, if you ask me. We're quite used to human beings. Some of 'em are all right, but others is enough to drive you doolally-tap. My old grandfather, he couldn't bear the sight of human beings, and he really used to give 'em what for. Oh, yeah. Well, he and Grandma had a very nice sort of garden in the zoo where they was. Lots of grass, you know, and a nice pond, and a beautiful sort of rockery. Well, Gramp and Gran used to sit in that rockery and sort of sunbathe, you know. And old Gramp used to get handfuls of dirt off the rockery, and he'd get a drop of water from the pond and make a nice stack of mud balls with it. Yeah. And you know what? When the human beings come in, wham, bam, would he let 'em have it. Oh, he was a wonderful shot. Very powerful left arm throw he had. You should have seen everybody run. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And they come back for more. Yeah, time and time again. Well, that's how he kept himself amused, and all of us amused. We had to laugh. We had a lot of fun. I don't suppose you get much chance of any fun out there in those old forests. Let's know how things are getting on. Greetings, Charlie. Dear Charlie, greetings, and our thanks for your greetings. Your letter arrived here just after we were all getting up the other morning. Of course, most of us here sleep up in the trees, and every night we make a nest of sticks and leaves and things. And you may not think so, but it is really very comfortable. And of course, it's extremely handy, because breakfast is right here, served free of charge. And it is, of course, absolutely fresh and guaranteed organically grown. After breakfast, of course, there's no real hurry. we have the whole day to ourselves. We just talk about what we are going to do for the day. Which way are we going? Either north, south, east, or west. Mind you, we can't go far in either direction. Well, the trees have been cut down. And as you know only too well, Charlie, without trees, we are done for. It causes some concern that our trees are being taken away from us, for we do regard them as our trees. They are ours. They are our food. Still, we can only hope that the human beings out here will see some sense and apply a little logic to our condition. Wish we had your old grandfather out here with his mud missiles. That would keep one or two of them out of the way. After all, our needs are very simple, Charlie. You know, when you consider how big we are, and yet we can keep going on just a bit of green stuff and some fruit. Still, we'll let you know how things go, Charlie. Goodbye and greetings, Mbongo.
Dear Antonio, I don't know how long it'll be before you get this letter, as you and all your families are thousands of miles away. And by rights, you know, where we are, well, you know, we should never be here. I get this feeling every morning when I wake up. I say to myself, I don't know, I don't really feel I ought to be here. It's a funny feeling, but there it is. I feel out of place, a sort of stranger. I'm not really part of the countryside. I've nothing to complain about, mind you. Everybody's very nice and kind, but people seem to give me that strange look, and I suppose I give them that strange look back. But then, being strangers, I suppose it's difficult not to look strange, if you see what I mean. I'm not the only one who feels like this, but we don't discuss the matter very often. Well, we don't have a lot of time for discussion, as we spend hours and hours every day chewing the cud. And as you know, it's very rude to talk with your mouth full. But some of this dry old hay takes a bit of twisting back, I can tell you. But you know, Antonio, there are signs of improvement. Well, we llamas in particular are getting very popular. Yes, not as popular as you are in South America, but as they say over here, we are sort of taking on. I mean, some years ago, people over here just didn't know what we looked like, but now it's all the rage to have one or two of us about a farmstead, yes. Well, as you know, Antonio, we don't need a rich diet. I mean, we can put up with the stuff that makes those snobby dairy cows turn their noses up, yes. But still, things are improving, and we're all striving hard to get some sort of community here, so that we'll feel more at home and not feel such strangers. It's not nice to feel strange and look strange. I'm sure you don't in South America. Do drop us a line sometime and help us feel more at home. Yours, Muriel. Dear Muriel, your letter came the other day. You're quite right about what you say. We can live on very little. Santa Maria, what we got to eat, eh? Yes, nothing. Nothing. Just a little bits of what you call string. Yes, like raffia. It's not much good, eh? You can't living on this, but we do. Oh, yes. Now look what we got. This is all we got. It's nothing. Nothing. This country here is just like that game what people is playing how is it called? The sneaker. Yeah, sneaker. Ah, snooker. That's it, the snooker. I hear about it one time. Yes, snooker. And he's calling it pit block. Yeah, pit block. No. Pot black. Yeah. But you know what happened here, trying to find something for eating from a snooker table. It's not possible. You ever hear of something growing on a snooker table? You can tell it that to your Aunt Clara. You know, I spend half a time every day just walking around looking to see where something is growing. Or it's the same for everybody. The people here, they don't have many things to eat. No. They're very hard people, but they're not bad. They're very like us. You know, I'm sometimes listening to them talking, and they are saying that where you are living, Muriel, is in the old world. Yeah, that's the old world. And in the old world, you are having camels. Yeah. And they say, all of us is camels. The llamas, the alpacas, guanacos, the vicuñas, is all camels. And I am hearing people say some things about camels that is not very good, eh? No. They're saying that they're very dirty things, that they are spitting, and things like that. Well, you know, everybody got to spit now and again, sometimes. Even a little girl spit when he's getting some dust in her throat. And when I pick up a stone from this snooker table, I spit. No. We are not too bad. You talk about being stranger. I stranger too. Very strange to put up with the life like this one, eh? Yes. Adios, querida Antonio.
Gladys, how time flies. I don't know how many times I've said that today. Must have said it a lot of times because Edward said to me, for goodness sake, woman, if you've said how time flies once today, you've said it a dozen times. I know time flies. We all know that time flies. Time does fly. Now do shut up. He can be rather short-tempered at times, but as you know, dear, like most men, his bark can be worse than his bite. Although, come to think of it, they both can be pretty bad if you're on the receiving end of either of them. Of course, what helps to make Edward short-tempered is our eldest boy, Arthur. He is learning to count, and he counts everything, especially the fishes that are presented to us at lunchtime. Oh dear, it's insufferable, really. He keeps on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. You had one more than me. Well, of course, this drives Edward up the wall. He says, I haven't had more than you. We have all had an equal share. Now shut up. But that doesn't stop him. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 8. I've only had 2. And so it goes on there. But apart from one or two little upsets, and what family doesn't get its upsets, we get along very well here. Of course, the kind people who bring us our lunch always make sure that we all get a fair share of the fish, because there are those amongst us who are always at the front end of the queue. But that's the same the whole world over. Of course it is. Well, dear, I must close now, as I see by the notice board that feeding time has come around again to 3 o'clock. How time flies. Lots of love. Barbara.
Dear Barbara, how great to hear from you again. You talk about time flying, dear. No sooner it's Monday than it's Monday again. And there's so much to do. Well, some days more than others, but the few minutes we snatch on the rocks here literally seems no time at all. I know exactly what you mean by your Edward being so short-tempered. Conrad, my better half, is just the same. I mean, when he says, "Come along now, time to go and do the shopping," I say, "But we've only been sunbathing here for 10 minutes. Well, he just about tears his fur off. "What do you mean 10 minutes? We've been here all day. And what the heck? I'm feeling kind of peckish. Now, come on." Well, as you know, dear, we do as we're told, don't we? But sometimes I can't help just saying, "All right, you old killer whale, we'll all do as you say." Of course, the mention of killer whale just about drives Conrad berserk. "I forbid you to use that name in my presence, ever. Don't you dare mention it again." Well, of course, it's all soon forgotten, but you do know, don't you, dear Barbara, just how dangerous those dreadful killer whales can be. I mean, we have been in terrible trouble more than once with killer whales, but mercifully, most of us managed to get back to the mainland successfully and in safety. I know, Barbara, that there are many who say that our life is just one long holiday. Look, dare I put the record straight, Barbara? Can I say that it seems to be one long holiday? Not only that, Barbara, you must remember that it often happens that a holiday can turn out to be pretty good hell. I mean, the beach is so crowded, you can hardly move. And there's nothing as objectionable as other people's children bawling and whinging all over the place. I'm not complaining, you understand, but what with all that and those wretched killer whales, sometimes life is scarcely worth living. The old killer whale is calling us all back to the sea. How time flies. Hi there, Gladys.